G'day and welcome to Ford Off-Road. Today I'm going to show you how to service a 2012 Mazda 3. Let's get into it. First thing I'm going to do is warm the car up for 5 minutes or so. So I'm due for, I've got 135,000 Ks. Pop the bonnet. Remove the engine cover. I'm going to change the air filter, which is under this little cover, just two clips and it'll open up. That's the number of the air filter if anyone's curious, from Ryco. Line the clips back up. So before or after you change the air filter, doesn't really matter. And remove the airflow sensor and give that a bit of a clean too. Just unplug, and then it's got two screws holding it in. Pull that out. Some CRC contact cleaner only, don't spray this with anything else. Just spray it and let it sit and dry for a bit. Check the coolant level, which is pretty good. Top up the washer bottle, check the power steering, check the condition of the drive belt, which looks pretty good. Check the brake fluid level. Now that this is dry, it only takes 10 or 15 seconds for it to dry. Pop it back in. So now we're going to jack the car up, put it onto some jack stands. You should never get under a car that's only supported by a jack. Make sure you have it on some stands every time so it doesn't crush you. So now it's on some jack stands and you can safely get under it and remove the bash plate. For this all we need is a 10mm socket or a 10mm Ogadugga gun. Undo, there's about six bolts all around. So the next step, you're going to need a drain container, 17mm, either a socket or a spanner. Undo the engine oil drain plug. And let it drain out. Just have a little bit of a look. So the CV, make sure the CV boots aren't split. Rack boots aren't split, which are up in there. Got a little bit of a transmission leak going on. We'll sort that out at a later date. For now, just wait for that to drain. Undo the oil filter with one of these fancy things. Maybe it's pretty tight. Jesus, it's tight. While the oil is draining, I'm just going to go around and have a peek through the rims at how much brake pad's left. Also, if you have an air compressor, check your tyre pressure, how much you're running in the tyres. If you have got standard Mazda rims, I'd suggest probably between 30 to 35 because they're running 19s, hectic 19s. I'll go with 40 just because there's less sidewall. Just slide under the car at the back, up the back, have a look at your exhaust, see if there's anything loose, your rear link pins, you just check them by hitting the sway bar, and if it rattles then the ball has movement in it. Rear linkages, just check how much tread your rear tyres have left. Just basically check over everything while we're waiting for the oil to drain. This Mazda 3 takes, which is 2012, they're basically all the same. Takes 4.3 litres of Penrite HPR5 W40 Don't have to use Penrite, but make sure it's 5W40. This only has 135,000 Ks, but if you have 200 upwards, I'd use a 1040 instead of a 540. And the Penrite also comes with a service sticker on the back of the bottle, so that's a bonus. And the oil filter number is Z632. Put the sump plug back in, change the oil filter and fill it up. Once the oil is drained, put the plug back in. Do it up tight, don't do it up FT spec, just do it up tight. Now unscrew the oil filter now. The reason you don't do that at the same time, unless you have two drain containers, is because this is going to spill oil everywhere, and then if you had done it before, you just spilt it all over your concrete. And oil filter ready. And on the seal there, I always just put a little bit of the old oil around the edge there, just helps it screw on a bit more instead of putting it on there dry. Screw your new oil filter on and just do this up tight by hand. Now we're done underneath, going to take it back off the stands, put it back down on the ground and put some oil in it. So now it's back on the ground, I'm going to put some oil in it. Get your funnel. Now, hopefully it stays there. 4.3 litres. Should be about right. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect on the first go, because you're going to check it again anyway. Cap back on. I'm not doing this one because I've replaced them on the last service, but if you need to replace or check your spark plugs, just an 8mm bolt, unplug the coil wire, pull it out, and your spark plug straight onto that. Do you wait a few minutes, check where the oil level's at before starting the car, which is pretty good. Make sure you change the service sticker. This is my missus' car, but if you're doing it for a customer, preferably don't use gold either. That's hard to read. If you're doing it for somebody else, that's the only part of the service that they will actually notice. So make sure you change it. This has 135,000 Ks. I do petrol services every 7,500 Ks, which would make it 142,500. You can do it every 10,000 if you like. I just prefer 7.5. And now we're going to start the car. Just a little oil light. Make sure she goes out. Doesn't go out, you got problems. Just leave it run for 10 or 15 seconds or so. After the engine has rested for 5 or 10 minutes, while the oil drains back into the sump, give it a final check, which is good. Ever so slightly over full. A little extra never hurt anyone. The engine cover will wipe off. Chuck it back on. Wherever it goes there. You're good to go. Make sure you give it a test rev when you're done. Just make sure everything's all good. That's how to service 2012 Mazda 3. The older ones and the newer ones are basically the same, they just might take a different oil. So make sure you check when you buy it which one goes in it, and also a different oil filter. If you don't know what you're doing, take your car to a mechanic, but it's pretty simple to service one of these by yourself at home. Just make sure you use jack stands, don't go under it and get crushed, because that would be fucking stupid. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, check out Ford Off-Road on Instagram, and I don't know what else to say. There's other things like, for example, changing the spark plugs, which I didn't cover in this because I've done them last service on this one. Fill out the service book. If your car has a service book, this one doesn't. Make sure you change the sticker. Don't blow your engine up. Make sure you put oil in it. Make sure you check with water. And that's pretty much it. That's how to service the 2012 Mazda 3. This one's got some sick 19-inch mags, racing red brake calipers, and no muffler. But besides that, they're basically all the same. Thanks for watching. See you next time. What are you doing? You helping? What are you doing? Yes, that's... What? You want to service a Mazda? You want to service a Mazda? Well, let's show you how.